Hi besties, it's Joanne here. Happy New Year to all of you, my subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. And I am sorry for not posting videos for a while now. I have been very busy. Hope you guys understand. But I am back, guys, and I'm going to be giving you guys back to back tutorials. Hope you guys are ready anyways. Today I am going to be showing you guys how to cut and sew this beautiful dress you're seeing here. It was actually requested by one of you, my subscribers, and I thought it wise to post this video. So if you're interested in something like this, kindly stick around and watch this video to the very end. Don't skip any part. It's going to be very interesting. So guys, if you've not subscribed, please take your time and hit on the subscribe button. Let's go. And guys, I'm going to be making use of this fabric here. This is stretchy on both ends. All right, so you can also use a non-stretchy fabric anyway. It mustn't be a stretchy fabric. And I have other equipment I'm going to be using for this tutorial, like the scissors, the tape roll, and the ruler, and of course the marker. So this is the pattern paper which I am going to be using, and I'm going to start off with taking the vertical measurement. As usual, if you've been following me, you'll notice I do this quite a lot. So first and foremost, I went ahead to measure up the half length. I'm going to be using a total length of 18 inches. Okay, and have enough pattern. I have enough, pattern paper for it, okay, for the length. So I went ahead to mark out the start point line, which is also known as the shoulder line, which I just labeled as the shoulder. Okay, so from that line there, I am going to be taking other vertical measurements like the chest line, the bust point line, the under bust line, and of course the half length. To get your chest line measurement, you need to measure up, divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5 inches. That way you get your accurate chest line measurement. Hope you understand. So what I just marked there was from the shoulder line, I marked the chest line measurement, the under bust, and the waistline. I'm going to be marking the bust point line later. Okay, so this is the chest line, this is the under bust, and this is the half length, also known as the waistline. Okay, first and foremost, we are drafting the upper part, upper bodice. We are going to be doing the lower, the skirt part later in this video. You don't want to miss that part as well. So guys, let's go. So this part here I just indicated is the center line. All right, so from that point I'm going to be taking all the horizontal measurement. All right, so from there I marked the shoulder measurement, divide by 2, and put it on that line, and from that point I also did the same thing on the chest line. Okay, so from the shoulder line I came down by 1 inch, then from that point I ruled a straight line across to the chest line. Hope you get. Now from this mid center line I am going to be going in by basic neckline, which is 3 inches, and I'm going to be connecting the shoulder slope like so. All right guys, now you've seen how the shoulder slope is. I expect you to do the same thing. So from this line here, get the midpoint, which I just did, and from the midpoint, on the midpoint, go in by half inch. Then on the chest line, divide your bust measurement by 4. Whatever you have, you're going to be imputing a quarter of that measurement. Then connect these 3 points to form your armhole. So guys, you've seen I've gotten the armhole beautifully well. Next measurement I'm going to be imputing will be the neckline. Okay, let's just finish with this upper part. So on this chest line I'm going to be taking the neckline. So I'm going to be using a neckline of 8.5 inches. Okay, this is just temporary. I'm going to be working on the neckline later. Okay, this should, it's going to serve as a guide for me later on in this video. So on the neckline, go in by half inch again, making it a total of 3.5 inches. That is, you're using a total of 3.5 inches neck width. Okay, so from that point on the neckline, connect your neck depth. Okay, as you've seen, I just connected a V-shaped neckline. Hope you understand. Now next I am going to be taking the dart intake. All right, so get your nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2. Whatever you have, you're going to be imputing that point. So to do that, I had to measure up the bust point line, since I did not take that measurement initially in this video. So I had to measure up that bust point line, which was 10.5 inches. So just confirming the measurement to enable me get a straight line. So I went ahead to rule a straight line. Okay, this line here is now the bust point line, which I'm going to also label that on this line. Now, after getting this line, I'm going to now go ahead to take the nipple to nipple measurements. So if your nipple to nipple measurement is 8, divide 8 by 2, that will be 4. Okay, that's exactly what I use on this video, okay. So it depends on what measurement you have. Yours might be different from mine. Now on the waistline, I took a dart intake of 0.75 on both sides. I went ahead to come down from the bust point line by 1/2 inch. I do not want my dart to get exactly to the bust point line. Now, once I was done with that, I went ahead to connect the dart intake like this. So on this shoulder line, I am not going to be working on this shoulder measurement. I'm going to leave it like this for now and work on it later on. All right, so leave the shoulder part like that. We are not going to be taking in the dart on that part. Now take your necessary body measurement. Starting on the waistline, I am going to divide the waist measurement by 4. Okay, divide your waist circumference by 4. Whatever you have, impute 1/4 of that and replace your dart intake. Now on the chest line, I already took the bust measurement divided by 4, so I'm going to just go ahead to connect the 2 points on the chest line and on the waistline to get the shape of this half bodice. Now I am done with the first parts of this half scale. I am going to be working on it right away to give us the style which you saw initially on this video. Okay, now on the bust point line, go up by 1/2 inch. You may also want to do 1 inch, depends on how much you want to show your cleavage. Now from that point, go inward by 1/2 inch again. Now from there, I'm going to connect this all the way to the neckline. So have you seen why I said the neckline we drew was just temporary? So we are now going to draw a permanent neckline, which we are going to be using. All right, so get your straight rule and connect this into the actual neck width of this top, okay, of this pattern. Now I use a broken line just so as not to confuse you guys. All right, then from that point of the half inch which I came in by, I'm going to connect to the under bust and also do the same thing. Now to get the right measurement on the chest line here around this armhole, divide this part by 2. Okay, see from this point where I shaped the pattern, okay, you're going to divide it by 2. Hope you understand. Now from there, you're going to use your cuff rule and connect from the 1/2 inch which you came inward by and connect it to this part. Hope you're following. So use your cuff rule and do this. If you don't have one, you can as well use your free hand to achieve that. Now I'm going to go ahead to now use my straight rule to connect the neckline using a different marker. So note that this other neckline is not inclusive, so I had to cancel that part. Now this dart here you're seeing on the bust part, I'm not going to be cutting it out, so you're just going to follow the way I'm going to cut this pattern. Please do the same thing. All right, so guys, as you can see, I've already cut this part, and go ahead to label your pattern. I label this as the center front, the side front, and the core parts. All right, so later on in this video I'm going to be closing the dart. I'm not going to be adding any allowance to the dart area. Now I'm also going to be working on the cup part. Let's draft the back first. So this is the pattern for the back. I'm going to also draw out the start point line. Now this line also is the shoulder line. I'll go ahead to label that as the shoulder. From that point there, you want to take your chest line measurements. For me, I used 8.5 and your half length. Go ahead to connect this part and rule a straight line. Okay, just use your ruler to connect a straight line. So we have the shoulder line, the chest line, and the waistline, also known as the half length. Now on the shoulder line, divide your shoulder measurement by 2 and impute. From that point, come down by 1 inch. That's for the shoulder slope. And the same shoulder measurements, also do the same thing on the chest line. Alright, then connect these 2 points from the chest line to the shoulder slope, alright, to get your straight line. Then on the neckline, mark your basic neck width, which is 3 inches, and connect your shoulder slope. Then come down here and get the midpoints. Divide your bust by 4 on the chest line and impute like this, and also use your cuff rule to connect the armhole to meet to the midpoints. So guys, I'm going to leave this part like this and come back to the neckline later. But first, I'm going to be taking in the dart, which is 4 inches. Okay, 8 inches divided by 2, giving me 4 inches. And on the chest line, I'll repeat the same thing. I'll get my straight rule and connect these 2 points into a straight line. So guys, if you notice, I did not include the zipper allowance to this pattern. I'll do that when cutting on my fabric. I took a dart intake of 0.75, just the way I did for the front on the waistline, and I connected it to the chest line like so. Next, I am going to come here and work on the neckline. So get your neck width, which is 3.5. So you're adding half inch to the 3 inches you marked earlier, and come down here by whatever measurement you like. For me, I took 9 inches. I'm going to be using my cuff, my straight rule, and get a V neckline just like the front. Then after getting these measurements, note that you may want to make yours deeper than this or make yours higher than this, depends on what you want. Now on this part here, I'm going to be removing the zipper bulge. So I use half inch. Okay, so I remove half inch from the waist on the waistline. That's for the zipper bulge. I'm working with a lycra fabric. Even if you're not working with a stretchy fabric, please remove your zipper bulge. I went ahead to connect this to me to the chest line, and I shaded that part to remind me to cut that out later. So now I'm going to start taking in the necessary measurements. Okay, so what I did was that I used a straight rule to connect from that neck depth I came down by. I just connected a straight line across. That's just to help me draw out my yoke pattern. Okay, so from there I had to connect it all the way to the armhole. That's for my yoke. I'm going to be cutting out the yoke. All right, hope you understand. So that part there is the yoke. All right, now I'm going to start taking in the body measurement. So I already have the bust measurement on the chest line. Then on the waistline, going to start from this line which I marked out for the zipper bulge. From there, you're going to take your waist measurement, divide by 4, then impute, replace your dart intake. Guys, I hope you understand. So I'm going to go ahead to connect the shape like this. Okay, so don't worry about how it's looking. Once I've taken in the darts, the shape will be normal. Okay, So guys, now I am going to cut this out. This is just basically it for the first part. Go ahead to label the center back and the side back. That's if you're cutting out your yoke and you're cutting out your darts. Hope you understand. Now guys, I did this on this part to remind me to add the zipper allowance to this part of the pattern. Hope you understand. So if you've not added your zipper allowance on this pattern, then you should do that when cutting on your fabric. This is the cup part which I am going to be working with. I'm going to slash this part and and spread it. That I'm going to exaggerate this cup, right? So to do that, I'm going to work with a particular measurement. On the shoulder part, this shoulder area, I'm going to be marking 1 inch apart. Okay, so from this part here, I'm going to be marking 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Then I have about 1.5 inches left, which I'm going to, of course, divide that into two. So I'm going to spread other parts. So from that 1 inch, just use your straight rule to draw to connect all the way to the down part of the cup. All right. So guys, when I got to this part, I had to also divide that measurement, the 1.5 by 2, and I simply connected it all the way down as well, just to give me that spread, slash and spread around that part as well. So I just went ahead to label that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you should label because you're going to be cutting this out in order not to mix it up when you're placing it on your fabric. Hope you understand. So I'll go ahead now to place another pattern paper under it and spread. All right. So this is a pattern paper. I went ahead to draw out a straight line on the middle part. That's just to serve as a guide for me to know where to place this other pattern which I slashed initially. So on that brown pattern, there's a chest line measurement there. Okay, so on that chest line, you're going to place it on this other line which you drew out on your fresh or new pattern paper. Okay, that way you know that you're actually doing the right thing, that everything is in place. Just watch what I am doing. Okay, this is the second one. Like I said, you have to number the one you slash and spread. Okay, number it. That is, number the pattern which you slash, which you cut through. Hope you understand. Once you've numbered it, when you're spreading it on a fresh pattern paper, you are not going to be confused. So after spreading the first one, I measure 1 inch, and from that point, from the 1 inch point, I spread the second one. Hope you understand. So I spread the second one. So measure 1 inch on the down parts, then go ahead to spread the second one, then do the same thing for the third one. As you've seen, notice where I place the line on the brown paper is matching with the line on the white paper. Okay, the chest line on the brown paper is actually matching with the line on the white paper. Hope you guys are not confused here. So I have spread this, and this is what this looks like. So I'm going to go ahead now to just use my marker to trace out, so that when I'm cutting this out, I'll just know where to cut and how to cut this. Now I'm going to take my scissors and cut out the excess white pattern. So guys, after that, this is exactly what I have. Once I'm done here, I am going to go ahead to remove this brown paper and use my masking tape to mask it back. Like, I'm going to put everything back in place. I mean the brown paper. I'm going to just form everything back to the way it was. All right, now this is it after I used my masking tape to form it back to the way it was. This is because when I'm gathering the main cup on the fabric, I'm going to be measuring up with what is here. Okay, so guys, you have to do that. Now for the yoke parts, I am going to use this one here also to do the same thing I did for the front part of the cup. So I had to do that off camera, guys. So after doing that, this is exactly what it is. I used the same method, but I did not slash and spread the down parts, because I don't want to have gathered on the down part. But if you want to slash and spread the down part, then feel free to do that. Right, so going ahead now to use my marker to trace the brown paper on the white paper, so that I can cut out the excess white paper out. Now guys, I have the yoke for both the front and the back. Now go ahead to measure up the shoulder to see if it actually aligns with that of the front. Okay, so what I had was okay. Now if you slash this or spread this very well, you notice that the shoulder will definitely align. All right, so I'm going to put that one away and use this ones here to cut on the fabric. Hope you understand. I'll cut on the fabric off camera and I'm going to show you guys. All right, so this is the back. When you're cutting it, please add your necessary allowance. Notice that I did not add the zipper allowance to this pattern paper. Please do that when cutting on your fabric. And I'm going to be cutting out the yoke and of course the front parts. This is the front part. So when you're cutting the center part, please make sure you cut that part on fold. All right, so I have the center front, the side fronts, the yoke for the front, and of course the center back, the side back, and the yoke for the back. Now guys, let's move on to the skirt parts. Go ahead to fold your fabric into two, right sides facing each other. Now for the skirt part, I'm going to be making it an A line. Okay, for the skirt part, which I'm going to be attaching to the upper bodice, I'm going to make it an A line. To know the measurement to use for the down part, you're going to use your hip measurement times 2. Okay, once you've gotten that measurement, divide it by 4, or divide your hip measurement by 4 and go ahead to add a quarter of your hip to that measurement, to the measurement you had initially. Hope you understand. So my hip is 44. I divided it by 4. I had 11. I added 11 inches again to the measurement, making it a total of 22 inches. So what I did was that I used 22 inches on this down part. If you want yours fuller than this, you're going to add you're going to add extra more inches, like extra 5 inches to the measurement you have. Okay, Like me now, if I wanted this full, I will add extra 5 inches to the to the hip measurements. All right, so after getting the hip measurement, I'll add a quarter of my hip measurement plus 5 inches. Okay, I'll not add 11 inches, I'll add 16 inches to my hip measurement. Hope you understand this little analogy which I just did. Now go ahead to get your skirt length. A total of a total length of 49 inches. That's what I use for this dress. All right, so to do that, you're going to subtract your half length. So I subtracted 18 inches from from the total length of this, which is 49 inches. I subtracted 18 inches from 49 inches to give me the skirt length which I'm working with now. All right, so go ahead to mark on that line to get a straight line. Then from that point there, that will serve as the waistline. Mark your waist measurement, divide by 4. Don't add that to this skirt, please. Then once you've done that, add your sewing allowance. For me, I added 1 inch to the skirt part. Then I went ahead to connect it all the way to the hem, to the skirt, to the length of the skirt. Hope you understand. So have you seen the way I connected it in a slanty form? Now, to know if your hip will fit to this skirt, you're going to indicate your hip line and go ahead to measure up your hip measurements. Okay, so what I had about 2 inches or 2.5 inches extra added to the my hip measurement, which is actually enough. Okay, that way the skirt will not be too tight, will not be tight on the hip part. Go ahead to on this side here, on the side of the skirt, come up by ½ inch. That's to give it this a little curve. But if you want you want to have you want the skirt part, the hem part to be curvy, then go up by 3 inches or 2.5 inches. For me, I was fine with 1 inch. So once I was done with that, I went ahead to cut out the excess fabric, all right, to get my skirt for the upper part. Now guys, this is it. Note that this middle part is on fold. Okay, when you're cutting it, please cut the center skirt on fold. Then I went ahead to fold the back part off camera. I added 1 inch here for the zipper allowance, and I'm going to cut out the neck, the waistline. Then on the zipper part, please remove your zipper bulge for the skirt. That's if you did that on the upper bodice. All right, so once you've done that, then open up the remaining part of the zipper allowance. Then this zipper bulge I just removed, I'm going to add it up on this waistline. Okay, add the zipper bulge which you remove on the waistline. Hope you understand. That's for your skirt to fit. All right, then go ahead to cut out the excess fabric which you don't need. Now guys, this is what this is. Okay, notice that the front part is on fold while the back part it's not on fold, guys. So now I'm going to go ahead to show you guys the fabric which I cut using the pattern paper. Then this is the skirt part. All right, let me just open that up for you guys to see. All right, so this is the zipper part. Please notch where you have your zipper allowance. Just going to use my pin to secure the zipper allowance. You're going to leave this part like this and measure from the waist part to that part, like from the waist part measure like 7. Then from that 7 you're going to make a straight stitch all the way to the hemline. Then for this center part, this is how this looks like once I open that up. So when you place the right side of both the front and the back, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, then you're going to be sewing, on the side. Hope you understand. All the way down to get your skirts. So guys, this is the yoke. I added half inch on this down parts. I added half inch on those top parts. Then for this center back here, I added 1 inch. That's because I'm going to be using my hemming gum to hem it like this. Okay, so cut 2 for the yoke. Then this is the yoke for the front. I added half inch on the top parts, but I advise you add 0.75 on the top parts. That's because you're going to be passing your drawstring. Then on this center front, I added 1 inch, which of course I'm going to be using that to hem. Then this is the center front and the side front. Notice that I used my masking tape to close the dart. All right, but if you want to have that, feel free to do that, but add your allowance for your dart intake. All right, then on the down part I added 1 inch, the side I added 1 inch. On this part, this cup part, the under bust side, I added half inch. Then note that the center front is on fold, and I cut 2 pieces for that, for both the center front and the side front. This is the back. I added the zipper allowance, which is 1 inch, the down part 1 inch, the side 1 inch, the top part half inch. I also closed the dart for the back part. I don't want to take in the darts. Then this one here is for the pockets. Okay, I have both the pocket back and pocket facing. This one here is what I'm going to be using for the drawstring. So cut a width of 1.5 inches, then length is up to you. You can make it as long as anyhow you want it. Now going over to the sewing part now, guys, please pay attention to the sewing parts. I'm going to start by removing the pin on the fabric and taking out the pattern, and once I open that up, this is what this looks like. All right, so this is what this looks like. Note that I also cut the lining piece using the same fabric. Hope you understand. So this is the yoke. Okay, once I open that up, this is what it looks like. So this is what you should have as well, guys. So I am going to note that I exaggerated this yoke. Okay, that I slashed and spread this yoke. So when you see that I'm going to run a gather stitch, I'm going to be picking that is, I'm going to be making tiny pleats around the underbusts, just so it fits in to the main underbust measurements. All right, so either you run a gather stitch here and pull up your gathered, or you pick it, that is, you make tiny pleats around the underbust. That's so that it fits to the main underbust measurement, just like this. All right, guys. Now on the shoulder line, on this part here, I'm going to, sorry guys, on the center front, I'm going to fold this like this and use my hemming gum to hem that part. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going to plait it to the main bodice. I'll do that for this other part of the yoke as well. Now this is the back. Going ahead to take out the pattern paper so that we work on the back fabric. Okay, I also cut out the yoke, sorry guys, I also cut out the lining piece for the back part. Note where the zipper allowance is. So for me, this is where the armhole is, and this part here is the zipper allowance area. So when placing your yoke, please minus your zipper allowance, that you're not going to sew your yoke where the zipper allowance is. Okay, so take note of your zipper allowance on your main bodice, mark that, or possibly you can notch. Then place your yoke exactly where you notched. Okay, once you've done that, you've done the right thing. All right, so for this yoke, I'm also going to use my hemming gum to hem it. Remember, I added hemming allowance for the yoke, both the front and the back. So I'll use my hemming gum to do that. Now, after hemming that part, this is exactly what I have. All right, so if you have enough fabric, then you can go ahead to, double this. Can cut the yoke, that is, cut your lining for the yoke. Hope you understand. That way you will not have to pass through the stress of hemming the center front yoke. Hope you understand. So this is exactly what this is. Now, having done that, I'm now going to go ahead to stitch the yoke to the main bodice. Okay, place it this way, right sides facing each other like so, leaving half inch on those top parts. Then go ahead to secure with your pin. Secure the center part with your pin, and also do the same thing on the side parts. All right, so that when you're gathering this up, or when you're pleating this, you don't make it shorter than the main underbust measurement. That is, you have a smooth ride while doing this. Hope you understand. So go ahead and pin the side and on the center, and pleat the excesses you have on the yoke to the main bodice. I'll do the same thing on the back. All right, so open up the yoke like this and indicate the zipper, like I said, the zipper line on the main bodice, like I said, and place your yoke right sides facing each other. From that zipper part, okay, from the zipper points which you notch, please sew your yoke. All right, do the same thing on this parts. I'll show you guys the outcome. Now, after sewing, this is what I have here. Have you guys seen? So on the center part, I left half inch. Now this is the wrong side. This is what it looks like. Please notch around the cup part. Okay, notch around the parts you sew. Then for the back, I did the same thing. This is what this looks like. Have you seen the zipper parts? I did not sew the yoke on the zipper allowance area. Now I'm going to attach the lining piece. Place the lining piece right sides facing the right side of the main fabric. Okay, place the lining piece right side facing the right side of the main fabric or the fashion fabric, and you're going to be stitching the top part by just half inch. Also stitch the zipper side by a 1/4 inch, and do the same thing on the side. All right, I'll do the same thing for this one here, and I'll do the same thing for this one here. So for the lining, for this one here, place your lining piece same way, right sides facing each other. Okay, right sides facing each other. You're going to be stitching it. Start from the center part. Please use your pin to secure and sew around the underbust parts. So go ahead and sew all the way from this point here, sew all the way to the center point and on the other part of the cup. So guys, when you're sewing this, please, you're going to be very careful. All right, take your time and stitch the lining to the main fabric. Now guys, after stitching, this is exactly what I have. So this is the zipper part, this is the wrong side. Have you seen how neat this is? So that's exactly what I have here, guys. Now I'm going to go ahead to pin the zipper area. All right, so take your zipper line measurements and use your pin to secure. This is exactly what it is once you've opened that up. And for this center front here, this is what I have. I went ahead to stitch this beautifully well, as you can see. So this is the wrong side. Have you seen how neat this is? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead to join the shoulder, both the front and the back. So you're going to place the back right side facing the right side of the front bodice. All right, so place both the back and the front right side facing each other, and you're going to be stitching the shoulder. So I'm going to stitch the shoulder by 0.75 inches. Okay, I'll do the same thing for this part as well. Now if you're using a non-stretchy fabric, please add 0.75 inches instead of half inch, or possibly you can add 1 inch to the shoulder measurement instead of half inch. Now for this one here, I'm going to simply fold in right side facing each other and sew by just 0.25. I'll sew the side as well and show you guys what I have. Guys, after stitching the side and the shoulder, this is exactly what I have here, and this is looking very beautiful already, as you can see. Now this is what this looks like. I have not attached the skirt part yet, so I'm going to I've already stitched the rope which I'm going to be using as the drawstring. So this is how it's going to be, but I'm going to put that aside and work on the skirt part first. Now for the skirt parts, I am going to show you guys how to attach a pocket to your skirt. So if you don't know how to attach a pocket to your skirt, this is an opportunity for you to learn. So from the waist part, you're going to mark 1.5 inches. Okay, that's how you're going to sew it. But when placing your fabric, place right side facing each other, and from the waist part come down by 1 inch and place your fabric, so that after stitching this is going to be 1.5 inches. Hope you understand. All right, so place your fabric, your pockets on right side facing each other, and you're going to be stitching by just half inch. Do the same thing for this one here, and of course the back as well. Now guys, after stitching, this is what this looks like. Have you seen how it is? So after stitching, you should have exactly like this. Okay, should have something like this. Now go ahead to place the back to the front, right sides facing each other, making sure that the pocket aligns, the waistline, everywhere aligns. Okay, now once you've done that, you're going to take to your sewing machine and stitch by your allowance. When you stitch by your allowance, come down by stitch all the way to where the pocket area is, and stitch around the pocket by just half inch, and stitch to this part and go back and stitch all the way to the hemline. Hope you understand. So yeah guys, that's basically it. And after stitching, this is exactly what I have for the skirt. Okay, you can see the pocket is sitting pretty. All right, so but this pocket is quite optional. If you don't want to attach pockets, it's fine, but I feel like if you're sewing something like this, pockets will beautify it more. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch the zipper parts. Now from the waistline, I'm going to simply measure like 7 inches or 6 inches from the waistline. That's because I'm using a stretchy fabric anyway. If you're using a non-stretchy fabric, from the waistline go down by like 9 inches and stitch from there, make a stitch all the way to the hemline. leaving the top parts for your zip. Okay, I'll do that, and I'll go ahead to attach the upper bodice to the skirt part. And guys, after that, this is exactly what I have here. Have you guys seen? So this is looking very beautiful. As you can see, I went ahead to attach drawstring on one side, but I'm going to be showing you guys how I did that on the other part. And I also hem the armpit area. To hem your armpit area, you're going to open up, like 1 inch from this shoulder line. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead to hem the armhole and close back the shoulder, so the shoulder mesh, the shoulder allowance. Okay, and after that, you're going to open up the shoulder allowance like this and stitch beautifully well, to giving some space for your rope to pass through. Okay, once you've passed your rope to the top parts along the neckline, you're going to go ahead to stitch the rope to the neckline. Hope you understand, so that when you draw this, it doesn't just pull out. Hope you understand. So that is how to pass your drawstring to the shoulder line. Then go ahead to fix your zip. I'm going to do that off camera, and also hem the down parts. I'm going to hem the down parts by half inch in, making it a total of 1 inch. So guys, this is basically it for this one here, for this tutorial. And guys, you're going to see a video of me wearing this. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me if you find it helpful, and I honestly hope you find this video helpful. So guys, thank you so much for watching and for always coming back here to my channel. Thank you so much, and stay blessed all the time. See you guys in my next one. Do have a nice day. Bye bye.